3 years ago, I reviewed a movie called Jack Frost, Attack of the Mutant Killer Snowman, here on the Big Daddy D Reviews. Since then, every Christmas I've had numerous requests from you, the YouTubers, asking that I review the sequel. Excuse me for a moment. Come on! Are you seriously going to make me do this? What have I done to deserve this? Are you seriously expecting me to review the sequel to a movie that has a snowman sex scene in it? What is wrong with you people? Fine. Hang on. I'm going to need a bigger bottle. Fine. We'll do it. Let's get this over and done with. Let's take a look at Jack Frost 2, Return of the Mutant Killer Snowman. Now, if you haven't seen my review of the first Jack Frost movie, then you might want to watch that first. I'll put a link in the description. After all, with a movie like this with such a deep storyline, you'll be lost if you don't know the full story. Well, anyway, our hero from the first film, Sam the Sheriff, is still recovering from the stress of having to destroy a mutant killer snowman by jumping into a pickup truck full of antifreeze. Sam has literally become a nervous wreck and just wants to forget everything from the last movie. I know how he feels. Naturally, the good doctor, and everyone else, thinks that he's just lost his marbles, and Sam is advised to go and take a holiday and get away from it all. Meanwhile, for some unexplained reason, a bunch of scientists have dug up all those bottles of bubbling antifreeze that Jack Frost's remains were kept in, and they're conducting experiments on it in an attempt to bring the snowman back to life. The point to all this seems somewhat vague, but hey, there you go. Nothing works until a cup of coffee is accidentally knocked into the tank of antifreeze, which apparently is all that it takes for the mutant killer snowman to come back to life. Who knew, eh? Jack is soon hot on the trail of Sam the Sheriff, and is apparently now able to maintain his molecular structure even whilst travelling across the ocean or in tropical weather. Well, fuck me. That coffee didn't half give him an upgrade, didn't it? Anyway, Jack comes across two castaways floating in the middle of the ocean, and you can guess what their only food source is left, can't you? Yep, a carrot. Sure enough, Jack soon disposes of the two castaways and makes off with a brand new nose. Seems a little convenient that he should just come across a pair of guys in the middle of the ocean who just so happen to have a carrot on them. I mean, what's he going to do next? Hunt down someone just because they've got a couple of pieces of coal with them? So, we now head off to the Tropicana Hotel, where Sam and company are now staying for their holiday. They are accompanied by a selection of dumbasses and porn star bimbos, who are all of the can't wait to see how novel your death scene is going to be kind of way. Jack must have a nose for stupid people, because he literally sniffs out these three dumbos straight away, whilst travelling on land as a homicidal carrot. Well, anyway, one of the girls notices that the fire is going out, and goes off to get some more coal. Really? Are you shitting me? I was joking about him hunting after someone just because they had a couple of pieces of coal. Now he's actually doing it? Oh. I'm sorry. That was my will to live escaping there. Anyway, Jack picks off the bimbos one by one, including taking a page out of the Wile E. Coyote playbook by crushing girl number 1 with an anvil made out of solid snow. He then follows this up with some ice spikes for girl number 2, followed by salad tongs to the frigging eyes for the final girl. Well, that's certainly different. The grisly remains are found the next morning by the hotel staff, including this guy with the Hawaiian shirt and the eye patch. Who is this guy? Well, actually, this guy is actually supposed to be this guy, FBI Agent Manners from the first film, the one that got half his face chewed off by Jack Frost's icicle teeth. It turns out he didn't die at all, but instead had to have 15 different operations in order to fix his face. This explains why he now looks so completely different, and has nothing to do whatsoever with the fact that the actor from the first film did not want to appear in another shitty snowman movie. Sam happens to wander by the grisly scene, but the staff try to avoid getting him involved by coming up with a different excuse for the corpses, which ends up coming out as a murderous coconut shark. My God, get the sci-fi channel on the phone! That film needs to be made! Anyway, Jack is busy again. This time he's changed his form into a load of ice cubes that come in very handy when this bikini-clad model needs to make her nipples hard for a photo shoot. And all the little Jack Frost cubes are calling, "Pick me, pick me, pick me, pick me!" And oh boy, that lucky chosen cube certainly has a rare old time in Nippleville. That is until the model decides to end the brief relationship, which seriously pisses off Jack. So, as revenge, he decides to have a bit of a dip in her iced coffee, which ends in explosive results. Yum.
Oh, I guess it was decapitated coffee.
Meanwhile, Sam the sheriff has met up with the new-look Agent Manners, and together they've come to the conclusion that there is a serial killer on the island. Included in this group is Captain Fun, a holiday rep that has made it his mission in life to make sure that everybody on the island has a good time, even if it means annoying the piss out of them. Poor Sam just wants to wallow in his thoughts about Jack Frost, but the captain wants him to take up such hobbies as karaoke and archery. That second choice has some appeal, come to think of it. Anyway, Captain Fun decides that the best way to lure the killer out into the open is to throw a party! Hey! Actually, his solution to everything seems to be throwing a party, but whatever. Meanwhile, Jack decides that the water in the pool is much too warm for the skinny-dipping Asian girl, who decided to get naked for no particular reason. So he thoughtfully cools down the water for her. Maybe a little too much. Oh well. Anyway, Jack doesn't stop there, and he ends up turning the whole island into a winter wonderland. This certainly takes the holidaymakers by surprise, including these two dunderheads who demonstrate exactly why you should not succumb to the moronic "I dare you to lick the pole" dare. Especially when there's a Mutant Killer Snowman knocking about. Ouch. At this point, Jack has become bored with being the stealthy assassin snowman, and he thinks, bugger this for a game of snakes and ladders, I'm going to go all out batshit insane now. And he does so by chucking high-velocity snowballs at the remaining guests, which results in a right little splatterfest, as one poor bugger in particular gets his arm knocked straight off, and he spurts an absurd amount of blood and gore all over his wife. I think that might be a little bit over the top. I heartily approve. Sam and Manners are soon on the scene, armed with super soakers that have been filled with antifreeze. Hey, it worked in the last film, so it should work again, right? No. It turns out that Jack has built up a resistance to the antifreeze since the last film, and all it does really is just piss him off. And puke up a snowball. The survivors aren't sure what to do with the snowball, so they take it inside, where it then becomes a little mini Jack. Aww, how cute. You know, I think Captain Fun is really taken by the little... Oh my God! So it turns out that the mini Jack is just as homicidal as the original. But at least now they can figure out how to kill off the main snowman by doing experiments on the little bugger. Will it blend?
That was fun!
I should point out that the mini Jack has now become a computer-generated creature for some reason. There you go. That's where most of the budget went for this movie. Trying to render something that looks like one of Gollum's turds. And if one little mini Jack wasn't enough, Agent Manners walks into a shed that's full of the little buggers. Oh my God, it's just like Critters, only shit. Yeah, I don't think he'll be coming back for the sequel next time. Meanwhile, the mini Jacks have now swarmed all over the island and are now causing trouble in a way that looks just like a blatant rip-off of Gremlins. Only shit. I mean, for fuck's sake, even one of them's got a mohawk. During all the chaos, Sam's wife throws a tropical drink at one of the mini Jacks and it actually dies. What? What was in that thing? Well, it turns out that the drink contains lots of bananas. And bananas are now what can kill Jack Frost. What the Right, okay, let's try and explain this, okay. When Sam and Jack fought each other in the first film, Jack stabbed Sam with an icicle which caused some of their DNA to mix up with one another when they ended up in the pickup truck together. Sam is allergic to bananas, so this trait has now passed on to Jack Frost, and this is how they can finally now kill off Jack Frost and his snowball army. With bananas. My God, my mind has officially blown, folks. I mean, for fuck's sake, they really pulled this one out of their arses, didn't they? From deep within their arses. So, grabbing their super soakers once again, but this time filled up with mashed banana, the survivors completely massacre the little mini-jacks, who explode into small bloody chunks. You know, there seems to be an awful lot of product placement in this movie.
Look, these organic cookies are pretty darn good.
Not only are super soakers featured heavily, but also in a certain make of beer.
I'll have an Asahi. Ooh, Asahi sounds good. I'll have an Asahi too. Yeah, make mine an Asahi.
Well, at least we know where the budget for the CGI'd mini-jacks came from then. But one of the mini-jacks manages to make it back to his master, but it then dies in his arms. It's enough to make even Jack Frost shed a tear. But the time for mourning soon passes, as Jack is really pissed off now. Jack returns and starts shoving icicles through heads, before then trapping Sam's wife in a giant ice room, where he starts closing the walls in on her. But then Sam returns. Having seemingly lost his sanity earlier on in the film, he's come to his senses at least enough to shoot Jack with a banana arrow. Wow, so it looks like those archery lessons with Captain Fun came in handy after all. Jack explodes in another cheapo CGI special effect, which covers everyone in what appears to be marshmallow fluff and red syrup. So now the cast look like something out of the end of the first Ghostbusters movie. Anyway, Jack and his wife are all okay, and they lead what remains of the survivors off the island in safety, declaring their dislike of Christmas and holidays in general. The fucking end. But the film isn't quite over yet, oh no, because during the end credits we get an extra piece of footage that appears to have been shot on a shitty camera phone. Oh my God, it's Jackzilla! Right, so if they make a Jack Frost free, then he will somehow be returning as a giant monster terrorising Tokyo. God help us all. Especially me, because I'll no doubt be asked to review this fucker as well. So yes, in conclusion, Jack Frost 2, Return of the Mutant Killer Snowman, is nowhere near as much fun as what the original was. But a lot of the deaths are still quite inventive and original, and those cute little mini-jacks were very amusing, even if they were somewhat rip-offs of what we saw in Critters and in Gremlins. But despite that, this is still very much one of those films that is so bad it's good. Jack Frost 2 is at least good for a rental. Until next time. Hopefully they won't do a Jack Frost free. But until next time, this is the Big Daddy D, signing off. A very Merry Christmas to you, and a Happy New Year.
Another attack of the murderous coconut shark.